This video is brought to you by Star Trek Online Rise of Discovery, the latest update to the game, including 2 new episodes involving the crew and the fate of the USS Buran. Meet Captain Gabriel Lorca and the Commander Ellen Landry to help them transport the Klingon prisoners. Help Commander Landry on a mission to save her captain, crashing on a frozen ice world, fighting off Klingon search parties. The update also includes a new reputation, Discovery Legends, where you can earn Discovery themed rewards. Section 31 logbox, a Discovery era Section 31 ship, and gear as seen on the show. The update also includes Tier 6 ship scaling, meaning that you can buy or earn a Tier 6 ship and use it at any level, scaling it to your current level. For more information on Star Trek Online, check out the link in the description below. Hello guys, this is Doron's Movies, and today I will be talking about the top 10 most powerful spells in World of Warcraft, covering interesting, potent and powerful abilities ranging from dangerous to world-destroying. So, without further ado, let's get into the lore. Number 10. Khadgar and the Dark Portal. After the defeat of the orcs, the humans would secure the Dark Portal. Hoping to end the orcish threat, Khadgar sought to destroy the actual structure. Having studied medieval spells and knowing the nature of the Dark Portal, he was able to cast powerful magic that would effectively sever the link between Azeroth and Draenor. Subsequently, he would create the Netherguard Keep to ward off against further invasions. Unfortunately for the humans, however, the link between worlds still remained, and Ner'zhul needed powerful artifacts to open new portals, so he invaded Azeroth again. Therefore, Khadgar, along with others, went on an expedition to Draenor to end the orcish threat once and for all. As Ner'zhul had caused a massive cataclysm, Khadgar cast a spell to close the Dark Portal from the other side in order to prevent Azeroth from being affected, essentially saving the world. He would survive and would continue to live in Outland. While not world-destroying, Khadgar's magic saved the world on 2 occasions, and these spells were of incredible power. Number 9. The Darkshore Vortex. When the cataclysm occurred, Darkshore was hit hard. The landscape was wrecked and destroyed more so than almost any other zone. In order to hold everything together, Malfurion traveled to the epicenter of the destruction and had utilized his druidic power to call forth a massive vortex. This vortex served to bind the entirety of the landmass and to prevent it from being swept into the ocean. Malfurion utilized every ounce of his power to maintain this spell. While this was not destructive, still it was an incredibly powerful spell that managed to hold an entire zone together and was done by a druid, a night elf, and not some outworldly demonic creature. Number 8. The Troll Wars. 2,800 years ago, the event known as the Troll Wars had occurred. The united humans and elves fought the Amani Empire through a long conflict. However, at the Battle of the Alterac Mountains, everything would change. The armies of Arator and Qualtalas had engaged the trolls in a massive battle at the foot of Alterac. After many days, the Knights of Arator refused to give any ground, and ultimately the elves agreed to unleash magic upon the trolls. Human and high elven mages conjured a massive spell, causing fire to fall from the sky that hindered troll regeneration as well as destroyed their lines. They had essentially nuked their army, and subsequently the warriors broke through their lines, slaughtering most of the trolls. Since this great spell, the trolls would never fully recover, even to this day. Number 7. Jaina and the Focusing Iris. The Focusing Iris is an orb and an ancient artifact of the Blue Dragonflight. It was stolen by the Horde and then subsequently constructed into a manabomb, an extremely powerful, essentially a nuke that was dropped on Terramore. The entire town was completely obliterated, and Jaina Proudmoore, the ruler, was hell-bent on revenge. Once she had uncovered the Focusing Iris, she went to study ancient books of magic, using the orb to summon thousands of water elementals. portals. In turn, she would plan to bind them into a gigantic tidal wave, destroying the entirety of the city of Orgrimmar. Fortunately, she was stopped, but had gotten very close to it. This spell was never cast, but if it had been, it could have been one of the biggest disasters ever created upon the world of Azeroth. Number 6. Ner'zhul and Draenor. After the defeat of the orcs, Ner'zhul became more concerned with his own power and his close allies' well-being rather than that of the Horde. When the Dark Portal was destroyed, he was caught in the blast and would recover. Then he would set out on a quest to open new portals to find fresh worlds that the Horde could conquer. With the help of the artifacts, Ner'zhul searched for leyline nexuses on Draenor where he would conduct these rituals. Feeling so much power, controlling essentially all of magic of Draenor, Ner'zhul ventured through one, escaping and tearing the entire planet apart. Known as the Spell of Conjuration, it essentially destroyed a part of the fabric of reality in Draenor, causing massive tidal waves, earthquakes, and causing volcanoes to erupt. The remnants of the horrible spell are still visible to this day through the shattered planet known as Outland. Number 5. The Destruction of Asuna. Long ago, Azsuna was a very important part of the Night Elven Empire. Prince Frondes ruled from here and was one of the most trusted advisors of Queen Azshara. However, as his palace was away from the capital city, he was not exactly enchanted by Sargeras and could see that the queen was being manipulated and could see what she was doing and decided to put an end to it. His plan was bold: to destroy the Well of Eternity and in turn to close the portal of the Burning Legion. Unfortunately, he was betrayed from within as a noble in his court had reported him to the queen. Azshara's punishment was swift but extremely deadly. She displayed her arcane power by destroying a titan pillar of creation, completely obliterating the entire zone, Prince Frondes, and his palace. Since that day, the elves of Asuna were never able to experience the release of death, causing their spirits to aimlessly wander the land. To this day, it is one of the most horrific spells ever cast upon Azeroth. Number 4. The Eye of Sargeras. Eye of Sargeras is one of the most powerful artifacts that we have seen so far on Azeroth. It was hidden inside the Tome of Sargeras, and at first it was Gul'dan who searched for it, raising the entire tome from the bottom of the ocean. However, he was tricked and torn apart by demons. Some years later, Illidan would go on a grand quest to recover and utilize the Eye of Sargeras. He reached the tome and uncovered the artifact, sailed to Lordaeron in order to reach Dalaran, where he began to conjure a spell. He had intended to sunder the entirety of the Frozen Throne and Ice Crown. The spell was so powerful that Malfurion had sensed it thousands of kilometers away from what was happening, and ultimately it was stopped. Had it succeeded, many speculated it could have sundered the entire continent of Northrend and not just Ice Crown, although it would have destroyed the Lich King. Number 3. War of the Ancients. During the final battle of the War of the Ancients, the entire world was shattered. Malfurion had realized that the Well of Eternity needed to be destroyed, as it was the source of power as well as a gateway for the Burning Legion. So, through his plan, he and the rebel forces attacked Azshara. Malfurion cast massive winds to distract them, as well as drew upon the power of the Dragon Soul to disrupt the Highborn spellwork. Ultimately, the well would begin to collapse upon itself, which led to the biggest catastrophe in the history of Azeroth, the Great Sundering. While it wasn't exactly a single spell or his own power, but instead the Well of Eternity, this action alone is considered one of the most devastating on Azeroth. Number 2. Archimonde and Dalaran. Dalaran has been the seat of magic for thousands of years. However, during the Third War, many of the mages were a part of the disaster that was about to happen. One of these traitors was Kel'Thuzad, who through the Book of Medivh managed to summon the extremely powerful Eredar Lord of the Burning Legion, Archimonde. Upon arrival, the demon had drawn the city in dust and then crushed it. We haven't really seen spells like these often, but it was one of the most horrific and most powerful. The mighty towers of Dalaran fell as Archimonde had destroyed the creation in the sand. While this was only the destruction of one city, just the fact that an entire city could be obliterated without even entering it makes this one of the most powerful spells in history. And lastly, number 1, the Destruction of Notreason. Right before the Azerothian invasion of Outland, Illidan had embarked on a serious campaign. He had invaded the homeworld of the Dreadlords with his demon hunters, and despite being few in numbers, they easily outmaneuvered the demons and had reached the Room of Records, seizing the Seal of Argus. Subsequently, Illidan had collapsed the portal, calculating that it will have the same effect as the shattering of Draenor. He was right, as indeed, shortly after, Notreason blew apart and every demon on the surface perished. As the world was in the twisted nether, it was also a permanent death. This explosion was one of the biggest blows to the Burning Legion throughout all of their history, significantly damaging the Net regime. Thank you for watching. Do check out the most horrific Old Knot creations by clicking on the screen, and check out our second channel, Doran's Academy, for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.